So, Mr. Gupton, please, tell me a bit about kona-village. What's special about it?
So the Kona-Village Resort was one of those places that I just remember from, God, I mean, I don't even remember the first time we went there. We were so little. My sister and I would go down there. Well, my parents would take my sister and I down there quite often. Back when we were younger, I guess I would have been in 5th, 6th, 7th grade, kind of like middle school age. The people who owned the Kona-Village Resort at the time lived a few doors down from us, and my parents knew them, and then I got to know them because when they go on vacation or leave the island, I would watch their dog. I would dog sit for them. I'd go take their golden retriever for walks and stuff. So it was really cool. But because we knew them, we always would get to go down and stay down there. So it was really, really cool. I just had great memories of going and spending time down there. So that's probably why it's special, just because we kind of grew up going there, you know, because we kind of had it in with the owners, right? Just we got lucky enough to just have them live next to us. So yeah, that was cool.
Right. Okay. So your childhood is very well connected with this area, correct?
Well, yeah. Well, I'm raised in Kona. We moved here when I was about 9 years old. I was in 5th grade at the time. So yeah, spent all the way through middle school and high school here in the islands. But then before that, we would come over here all the time. My parents sort of, they met, when they first met, they would come over here to vacation before they were married. And then when they had my sister and I, we would still come over. We'd come over maybe once a year, maybe a little bit more. For a while, we had a condo over in Hilo, and we'd go there all the time. I remember going and spending, summers there. And then we ended up moving over to Kona. They come over to Kona because it was just rainy over on Hilo's side, which is why we live in Kona side. And so I was raised coming over here, and then in 5th grade we moved over here full time. But it was one of those places that we always had so many memories. And of course, when I was in college, my mom was back. We moved my last couple of years of high school. We were on the mainland because my father got sick. So it was better for us to be on the mainland near some of the other family that we had that was still on the mainland. So that took us away from Hawaii. But my mom moved back when I was in college, and she ended up getting a job out. Not really a job, but she would sell artwork out of the Kona-Village Resort for so long, and she had so much work out there that she was the resident artist out at the Kona-Village Resort. So again, when I was in college and I come back to visit, we would get a chance to go out there and spend time as when I was in college. And God, it was just great. You get to go and spend time at this killer resort, and it was free at the time for me, so I loved it. It was all inclusive. You could just eat whatever you wanted, and man, it was just fantastic. It was just a killer place to go and just relax, and tons of memories. And it was one of those places that you could actually go and just completely chill, because there was no TVs in the room, no radios, no nothing. And it was all high-end, with rich people and stuff. And yeah, I was so far from rich, but you got to go kind of down there and just, see how the other half lives, right? So yeah, that was super cool as a poor college kid. Eating ramen when I was at college, and all of a sudden I got to come out here and just, woo, just so much food you didn't know what to do with. So yeah, that was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So Kona Village, it was kind of a resort, but what was the vibe there really? How were
Super chill. That nobody had phones. Nobody had TVs. I mean, you'd wake up in the morning, you'd go have breakfast, you'd read a book, you'd go for a snorkel, a swim, just do nothing. It was just, you just did nothing. And there was something really, really cool about that. And then when I moved back to Hawaii, probably around 2000, before I met your mom. So I used to be like, late 1990s. On Thursday, they would have different artists come in and kind of, sell your wares, right? Sell what you did. And for about 2 years, I would go and sell my artwork down at the Kona-Village Resort to the people who were staying there, and with the other group of artists who were just, amazing people. I actually still keep in touch with today. That was kind of where I got my start selling the artwork and figuring out what people liked. So then when 2011 happened, and the Fukushima tsunami came over, and that's what ended up just closing the resort down. I mean, it was
Right,
going,
right.
everything was fantastic. I think they had, plans to do stuff with it. Then all of a sudden that tsunami came and it just wiped out a ton of stuff. It did a number on Four Seasons also, but the damage was such that at Kona-Village, and I'm sure there was insurance and other stuff going on, which I have no idea about, but yeah, they just closed it. And all of a sudden that was just gone. And now it's closed. You can't just go down there anymore.
Right.
So yeah, that was a little brutal, knowing that that's kind of where I got my start as an artist. And my mom was still working down there. I mean, a lot of her work was Kona-Village centric, but I mean, it's thatched roof hollows that you can stay. I mean, it was the dream. It's what everybody thinks of when you think of Polynesia, right? You get the little hollow up on stilts and the grass shack and all the planting right on the beach. I mean, it was the killer. It was like the dream. It's where you went when it was like the quintessential Hawaii stay, right? So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So knowing the transportation back then, especially before the Queen K, the lower highway was in
Oh, yeah.
construction.
Yeah.
What was the transportation there like? What was
Okay,
it?
so
How remote was it?
back in the day when I was a kid, right? This is just my memories. So when you left the airport and you drove north, now you get, there's Kukio, and you get all the resorts and the veteran cemetery and the entrance to Kua Bay and all that paved stuff. And then you go a little bit further and you got all Kukio and then Four Seasons Hualalai and you got the entry. Back then, nothing. All you was just nothing until you got to the Mauna Kea, right? That was kind of like the first thing, or the Hilton. I guess the Hilton might have been there. Not when I was little. That was a little bit after. So yeah, it was kind of Mauna Kea was the first thing you got to, right? Hapuna Beach almost. So you would go down and there was just this little shack that was set off the road, probably like 200 yards off the road. There was just lava field and this little shack, and that was the guard post, right? You'd have to go down there. One little road went down, no stop sign, no turn signal, no turn lane, nothing. And you'd go by and the guard would be down there and you'd give them your name and then you'd go down this little crappy little dirt road all the way down. But before the lower road, the only ways to get there, they had an airstrip. You could actually land a private plane there, which was kind of cool. The runways, I think you can actually still see the runway from the road. But you'd either fly your plane in, right? Or you'd have to drive all the way up Mamalahoa Highway and then cut down and then go down. So you'd fly into probably Old Airport, right? You'd land at the Old Airport or fly in Hilo and then go around and go over the crappy old saddle road before it was all paved, the Daniel K. and Highway, which is killer now. But saddle road back then was interesting. It was like a semi-paved dirt path. It was the crappiest road, man. You'd have to drive right in the middle because on the sides it was just super bumpy. So you'd ride in the middle until a car came, and then both of you would turn off and go by each other, and you go back to the middle. Oh man, that road sucked. But so you'd have to go up and then turn down somewhere Mamaloha Highway, probably about where I could never figure out where you turned down, but I would imagine it was somewhere kind of like probably Makale, or maybe even a little bit further past Makale, and then you'd have to drive down. So yeah, then it was even more exclusive, right? So, but the ponds out there, I mean, my favorite part, I mean, the beach is really nice, but they've got all these killer ponds back that are just, oh my God, it's so beautiful, so peaceful back in there. I mean, you can see why they'd want to build something like that there, and hopefully, there's been talk of them kind of opening up like this eco resort, and God, if that happens, I would love to see that, because then it would open it back up for people to be able to get back in and see those ponds and just absolutely it's beautiful back there. It's just killer.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, future plans, is there talk of the town on what future coming?
Man, everybody's got an opinion. I mean, every year or so somebody says, oh yeah, it's going to open back up, and this person will tell you, oh well, Charles Schwab owns it, and this Michael Dell owns it, and they're going to do this, that, and the other thing. I don't think anybody knows. I mean, it's one of those coconut wireless kind of things where somebody says something and then somebody else says something, and who knows if any of it's true. But hopefully some of it is, and they open it back up and kind of open it back to the public, and we get to go kind of hang out down there again, because maybe I can figure out how to do some artwork or something for them, because it's probably going to be so expensive that we won't be able to afford to go down there. But hopefully they have like a kama-ina rate or something that we can kind of slide in one of the however many dollars a night. So
What do you if you could decide its future, would you want for it to be more towards the past, or what would you, if you were to change a couple of things or keep it the same, what would you do?
You know what? I'd probably just, those rooms are probably just thrashed. It's not really, I mean, what, 2011, so that's 7 years, basically. Those things have been sitting empty. So they're probably pretty thrashed. So just redoing all of those things, but no TVs, no phones, no radios, just wake up in the morning, sound of the surf, sound of the birds, whatever's. You know, used to be all the donkeys were down there. So you'd wake up to the sound of donkeys, and then they moved all the donkeys. There used to be all the ones that were up, you know, hauling coffee, and then they somehow found their way down there. So, yeah, you'd drive down there, and you'd round a corner, and there'd be like 10, 15 donkeys in the middle of the road, right? So you have to kind of wait for the donkeys to move. You're like, yeah, this is surreal. We're sitting in the middle of a lava field in Kona, Hawaii, and there's donkeys all over the road. It was pretty awesome. But, yeah, if it were me, if I were king of the world, then yeah, I'd have it open back up where it's, you know, just be kind of like it was. Just relax, chill, nobody on phones, just relax, spend time with family, talk with people, nap all afternoon, you know. Stuff you want to do when you're on vacation.
Right.
Just do nothing. Just chill. Yeah.
Right.
So that and all the people. I mean, I don't know if you could bring back all the people who work there, but shoots, all those people were there for like 20 years. So you just, you know, go and chat with all those folks, and man, it was like going home, man. Those aunties and uncles, and I mean, everybody was down there. It was killer. I mean, the people made that place. The place itself was beautiful, but poof, people who worked there were just fantastic. Just lovely human beings.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you for your interview.
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Okay.
A little stroll down memory lane. Yeah, kind of fun.